Hey everyone, in this video, let's talk about the Suno Shimmer. In order to do so, here we are in Suno, and in order to demonstrate what we're talking about when we're talking about the shimmer, I have a file here that we can take a listen to, but before we play it, I'll just explain what we're talking about when we talk about the Suno Shimmer. Now, this is something that you might find with other AI music platforms as well. But as far as Suno goes and just the idea of the shimmer in general, what it's referring to is a kind of shimmer sound is the best way to describe it that comes through with some AI generated music. And what I have found personally is that it tends to come through the most when you have an intense song. A lot of the more rock stuff that I produce tends to have something kind of going on in the background, and it just it almost sounds like it could be intentional, but it does be somewhat of a giveaway to whether or not something is AI generated. So let's just give a listen to this track here really quick, and we'll see if we can hear the shimmer in it. So if you listen carefully there, you can kind of hear in the background of the music what kind of sounds like a that's the best way I can kind of describe it. It's like a kind of sound going on in the background. And this is what we're talking about when we refer to this shimmer sound. It is basically, the only thing that we can really say about this right now is that it is part of the music generation and just the technology and where it is right now. It's possible that it's even somewhat intentional. It's supposed to kind of be like a pad in the background that kind of gives it a little bit more character. But it also is something that, generally speaking, is sort of a giveaway that something is AI generated, is when you get that kind of shimmer sound effect in the background. So what can you do about it? Well, at this point, there's not much you can do about it within Suno itself. You can try remastering. If you have version 4, then you can try remastering. So if we go here and we go to create, then you can see the option where it says remaster. The other possibility that you might want to consider is to get the stems. And when we say get stems, what we're talking about is it splits the track into vocals and instrumental. And if you want to try to minimize that shimmer sound, then you're really going to have to take the track and bring it into a DAW of some sort and use some EQ. There might be some other plugins that you might consider using as well in order to try to minimize that sound. I think that's really the only way to go about it at this point. And this is kind of where I've realized when it comes to AI music generators is that if you have some knowledge base of how to use a DAW, a digital audio workstation like Ableton or Audacity or any other thing similar, then this is where knowing how to do EQ and knowing what kind of plugins might be useful in a situation like this. Dithering is something that I've heard talked about. So it's really up to you using Suno or using any AI music platform. You can just take the results that you get from the platform itself. But realistically, if you want the results to sound as good as possible, then you are going to need to take it into a DAW and do some editing, some refinements on that side of things. And that's pretty much all there is to it. When it comes to the Suno Shimmer, it could be something that gets improved with time, but if you really want to know how to deal with it, then the best thing to do is to go into some kind of a separate DAW and use effects, use EQ in order to try to minimize that as much as possible. And that's all there is to it. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment and like and subscribe for more helpful tips.